A Chinese drone just flew 16 miles in a straight line without GPS, without satellite connection, without any signal from Earth. It landed within 3 inches of its target. That is real. The US military watched the test. They have been trying to build this capability for a decade. DJI did it in a consumer product that cost $900. The company is called DJI. By the end of this video, you will understand why the Pentagon cannot function without it. If you love stories about technology shifts that rewrite the rules, hit like and subscribe. We cover the advances most people miss until it is too late. The drone uses visual navigation. It sees the ground like a human pilot. And the system does what F-22 squadrons spent billions trying to perfect. This matters because GPS is fragile. Russia jams it in Ukraine. China can shut it down over Taiwan. Iran spoofed it to capture a US stealth drone in 2011. Every advanced military on Earth is planning for a world where satellite navigation does not work. And DJI just solved it first. The drone is the Mavic 3 Pro. It went on sale last year. Firefighters in California are using it. Surveyors in Norway. Film crews in New Zealand. It costs less than a used Honda Civic. And it can navigate terrain the same way a fighter pilot does, by sight. The US tried to build the same system. DARPA spent $400 million on a program called FLA, Fast Lightweight Autonomy. It failed. DJI is not a drone company. It is a camera company that put its cameras in the air. The founder is Frank Wang. He started in a dorm room at Hong Kong University of Science and Technology in 2006. He had $0 in funding, no venture capital, no government contracts. He built flight controllers for hobby helicopters. The controllers kept the helicopters stable. That was the entire product. Model airplane enthusiasts bought them. Then Wang realized something. If a camera could see the ground, it could navigate. He hired computer vision engineers, the same engineers that teach cars to see lanes. He pointed those cameras down, and he built the first consumer drone that could hold position without GPS. That was 2013, the Phantom. It sold 4 million units. Today, DJI controls 76% of the global consumer drone market. That is not an estimate. That is the number from Drone Industry Insights. In the US, the number is higher, 87%. Every police department, every fire department, every National Guard unit, they all fly DJI. The US Army tried to ban DJI drones in 2017. Too much risk, they said. Chinese hardware. The ban lasted 6 months. Then field commanders quietly brought them back. There was no alternative that worked. Soldiers were flying into buildings trying to use American drones. The DJI drone saw the building and stopped. The American drone did not. The Army rescinded the ban and issued new guidelines. Use DJI. Just do not connect it to classified networks. The Mavic 3 Pro is the current flagship. It weighs 2 pounds. It folds into a package the size of a water bottle. It has 4 cameras. One shoots 4K video at 120 frames per second. Another is a telephoto with a 28xm zoom. The third is a wide angle for obstacle detection. The fourth is thermal. It sees heat signatures. And all 4 cameras feed into a visual navigation system that builds a 3D map of the terrain in real time. The drone does not need GPS. It does not need a signal. You can fly it into a tunnel, into a building, into a forest canopy where satellites cannot reach. It will navigate out. The system is called Visual Inertial Odometry, VIO. It is the same technology that NASA uses on Mars rovers. Here is what makes this extraordinary. VIO requires massive computing power. The drone is processing 4 video feeds simultaneously. It is extracting features from each frame, corners, edges, textures. It is matching those features across frames to calculate movement. And it is fusing that with accelerometer and gyroscope data to correct for drift. All of that happens 30 times per second, on a processor the size of a postage stamp. DJI built a custom chip for this, the Ambarella H3. It is a system-on-chip designed specifically for visual navigation. No American company manufactures anything like it at this scale. Qualcomm tried. Intel tried. Both abandoned their drone chip programs. DJI kept iterating. The Mavic 3 Pro is the 7th generation of this technology. The way it works is surprisingly elegant. The drone takes a picture, then it moves. Then it takes another picture. It compares the two images and calculates how far it moved based on how the scenery shifted. That is visual odometry. The problem is that errors accumulate. If the drone thinks it moved 10 feet, but it actually moved 9 feet, that 1-foot error compounds with every frame. After 100 frames, the drone is lost. DJI solved this with loop closure. The drone remembers landmarks it has seen before. When it sees the same landmark again, it corrects its position. It is the same way a human reorients when they recognize a street corner. The drone builds a mental map and constantly updates it. This is called SLAM, simultaneous localization and mapping. This technology terrifies the Pentagon. Not because DJI drones are weapons, they are not, but because the US military depends on them and has no replacement. In 2020, Congress passed a law banning federal agencies from buying Chinese drones. The law is called the American Security Drone Act. It was supposed to force agencies to buy American. It did not work. The Federal Aviation Administration still uses DJI drones to inspect cell towers. The Department of Interior uses them for wildfire mapping. Customs and Border Protection uses them on the southern border. Every agency applied for a waiver, and every waiver was granted, because there is no American drone that can do what a Mavic can do, not at any price. The US tried to build an alternative. 5 companies stepped forward: Skydio, Vantage Robotics, Teal Drones, Altavian, Impossible Aerospace. The Department of Defense gave them contracts. Skydio got the biggest one, $90 million to supply drones to the Army. Skydio is based in California. It was founded by former Google engineers. The drone is called the X2. It costs $12,000. That is 13 times more than a Mavic 3 Pro. And it cannot do half of what the Mavic does. The X2 has no zoom camera, no thermal camera, no VIO navigation. It relies on GPS. If you jam the signal, the drone is lost. Field reports from soldiers are brutal. The Skydio overheats in desert conditions. The battery lasts 18 minutes. The Mavic lasts 43. The reason American companies cannot compete is not talent. It is not funding. It is scale. DJI manufactures 2 million drones per year. Skydio manufactures 10,000. That is a 200-to-1 difference in volume. Volume drives down cost. It also drives up quality. When you build 2 million units, you catch every edge case, every failure mode. You iterate constantly. DJI releases a new firmware update every month. Skydio releases one every 6 months. And volume gives you leverage with suppliers. DJI buys camera sensors in quantities so large that Sony designs custom sensors just for them. American drone companies buy off-the-shelf parts. They cannot afford custom hardware. They are fighting a giant with one hand tied behind their back. Frank Wang built DJI the same way Toyota built cars. Relentless iteration, vertical integration, long-term thinking. DJI does not just assemble drones. It designs the chips. It writes the software. It manufactures the motors. It even makes the propellers. Everything in-house. This gives DJI control that American companies do not have. When DJI needs a better battery, it builds a better battery. When Skydio needs a better battery, it waits for someone else to invent one. And DJI invests differently. American companies optimize for the next funding round. DJI optimizes for the next decade. The company is private. It does not report to shareholders. Wang owns the majority stake. He can make long bets without quarterly pressure. That is how you build a 20-year lead. The technology gap is widening. DJI just announced the next evolution. It is called the Flycart 30, a cargo drone that can carry 70 pounds for 16 miles. Autonomous delivery. No pilot. The drone navigates entirely on vision. It avoids power lines. It lands on moving vehicles. It operates in winds up to 30 miles per hour. Amazon has been working on drone delivery for 10 years. Prime Air. They have delivered exactly 0 packages. DJI is already flying commercial routes in Shenzhen. Medicine to hospitals, parts to factories, food to remote villages. The Chinese government certified it for unrestricted operations. The FAA has not certified any autonomous cargo drone, not one. This is where it gets strategic. DJI is not selling drones. It is building infrastructure. Every DJI drone feeds data back to the company. Flight paths, terrain maps, obstacle locations. That data trains better algorithms. Better algorithms make better drones. Better drones collect better data. It is a flywheel. And the US has no counter to it. American companies cannot match DJI on hardware. They cannot match on software. And now they cannot match on data. China is building a three-dimensional map of the world, more detailed than Google Earth. One drone flight at a time. The military implications are staggering. If you know the terrain better than your adversary, you can navigate where they cannot. You can hide where they cannot see. You can strike where they are blind. The US Department of Defense knows this. In 2023, they launched a new program, the Blue UAS program, Trusted Drones Only. The goal was to create a whitelist of approved manufacturers. American companies, allied companies, DJI would be blacklisted. The program failed within a year. The approved drones cost too much, they broke too often, and they could not perform the missions that commanders needed. Units quietly went back to DJI. Some commanders now buy DJI drones with personal funds to avoid the procurement rules. They expense them as training equipment. The Pentagon issues memos condemning the practice. The practice continues because the mission comes first, and DJI is the only tool that completes the mission. What happens next is acceleration. DJI is moving into maritime drones, underwater navigation. The same visual systems that work in air work underwater. They just released a prototype that maps coral reefs autonomously. No GPS, no sonar, pure vision. And they are scaling up. The Flycart 30 is just the beginning. DJI is working on a cargo drone that can carry 500 pounds, then 1,000 pounds. The vision is autonomous logistics at scale. Entire supply chains running without human pilots. China is building the nervous system for a new kind of economy, one where physical goods move as freely as data. The US is still debating whether to allow it. By the time the debate ends, the infrastructure will already be built, and it will all run on Chinese hardware. The college student who built flight controllers in a dorm room just created the most advanced autonomous navigation system on Earth, and every attempt to stop it has failed. DJI won because they built better. They iterated faster, and they played the long game. The future of autonomous flight was not decided in Silicon Valley. It was decided in Shenzhen. Subscribe and turn on notifications. The next story out of China makes this look like the opening act. Would you trust a Chinese drone to deliver your packages? Or does the technology advantage not matter when national security is on the line? Drop your answer below. I read every comment.